With today marking the 106th anniversary of the independence of Albania, celebrations took place across the country. Senior government officials attended a celebration in Vlora while the DP set up at the Martyrs Cemetery. As part of the Independence Day celebrations, an open day was held at the Assembly Hall, allowing citizens to step inside the building and experience taking the seat of prominent politicians for a moment in time. A rare marine map dating back to 1455, which depicts the name of Albania's national hero, is being displayed for the first time in Albania at the Prime Ministry. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 28th of November 2018. Gëzuar festet and welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Making headlines tonight is that today is the 106th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence of Albania, however, is a day marked by divisions in politics. In Vlora, an activity was organised in celebration of the occasion of November 28. Senior state officials were present, including President Meta, Parliamentary Speaker Gramos Rucci, and Prime Minister Edi Rama. Also in attendance, the Deputy Prime Minister of Kosovo spoke of Vlora as a kind of pilgrimage city for Albanians. Meanwhile, from the cemetery of the nation's martyrs, the Democratic Party commemorated the independence and liberation of the country. Lulzim Basha invited Albanians to be united in order to secure what he referred to as undeniable freedom. In the centre of Tirana, the Albanian flag was raised by Mayor Erion Veliaj. The mayor used this day to express his determination to move on with development projects for Tirana, referring to the Outer Ring. Today, we need to have progress. We are more determined than ever to continue the project of modernising Tirana. Tirana will have an outer ring road in order to spare the citizens from the horrendous traffic, said Erion Veliaj. Words of well wishes for the Albanian celebration of Independence Day were given by the United States Embassy, the European Union Ambassador Luigi Soreca, as well as other diplomats and embassies. Additionally, Knut Fleckenstein further attested to his commitment in supporting Albania in the European integration process in commemoration of the 106th anniversary of Albania's independence. As mentioned, celebrations took place today across the country in honour of the 106th anniversary of Albania's independence. In Korça, representatives of the federal and local governments, as well as citizens, took part in the ceremony held in the pedestrian area of the city. Despite the rain, a considerable number of citizens from Fier were in attendance for the ceremony held at Europe Square. In Elbasan, the ceremony was held near the monument of Acif Pasha, the man who proclaimed the independence of the city and was also a signatory of the Vlora Act. Attendees included a number of socialist MPs, as well as MP of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Edmond Hajinasto, who said that unfortunately the country is still in a state of separation, even after 106 years have passed since the state was established. Meanwhile, MPs of the Democratic Party attended a tribute of their own after the conclusion of the ceremonies, which was held at the cemetery for the nation's martyrs. Just as career politicians fight for the chance to sit in the biggest chairs of the Assembly Hall, the citizens also showed a clear preference for the Prime Minister's and Speaker's chairs during today's Assembly Open Day. While the country's current Prime Minister, Edi Rama, was attending the celebrations in Vlora for the 106th anniversary of independence, a queue of Albanian citizens had formed with the hopes of being able to occupy his chair, albeit momentarily for now. Sending their messages for today's Flag Day, citizens were clear in expressing their wish that the country will receive a positive evaluation from EU countries, paving the way for an opening of negotiations for Albania's EU accession next year. At the open doors of the Assembly, T-shirts were distributed to citizens with environmental slogans in an attempt to sensitise the population further in regards to global concerns. Citizens will have a further opportunity to visit the Parliament tomorrow between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. With this year's November celebrations falling next to a weekend, many Albanians are taking the opportunity to travel further abroad, with favoured destinations including Europe, Turkey and Asia. Besnik Vathi, a representative of the Association of Tour Operators, stated that this year there was an increase in outward travel movement. The length of the November holidays has allowed for longer-term travels and travel to more distant destinations, explained Besnik Vathi. Istanbul seems to be one of the most popular destinations because of the low cost, with flights available for as low as €49. Bus travel has also proved popular, with Vathi commenting, "This year, buses to Istanbul represent the majority of departures for every agency. Today alone, there were around 35 to 40 buses that departed to Istanbul and will be returning in 4 or 5 days' time." With the state administration declaring a 5-day holiday, it seems that many citizens are taking the opportunity to celebrate Albania's independence from destinations abroad. Despite the atmosphere of celebration for Independence Day, Astir continued their demonstration of protest in an attempt to defend their homes from demolition for the construction of the Outer Ring Road. Today, they utilised a giant banner bearing the country's national emblem to block the circulation of vehicles across 2 main road axes. Democratic Party MPs have continued to rise in support of residents, with Clevis Baliu stating he has not legalised the dwellings of the citizens and instead seeks to destroy them. This protest over the Outer Ring Road has hurled a rope around the throat of this government and yanked off their mask. This protest's enemy is corruption. Every citizen should join the protests of these residents. Edi Rama has stolen €40 million and he will not give it back. The protest will continue until the state institutions re-establish law and order in this country. This miserable effort of this government to divide the citizens are ridiculous. They put 2 or 3 bricks on the street just to give the idea that the protest here is closed and will be done as they want. The protest will continue and the Democratic Party will continue to support it, concluded DP MP Clevis Baliu. Yesterday, the Agency for Legalisation, Urbanisation and Integration of Informal Areas and Buildings published the list of 107 residents who are excluded from the legalisation process and affected by the Outer Ring Road. Aloisni invites those citizens who find themselves mentioned on this list to apply at the municipality of Tirana for the benefit of rent assistance or social housing. In addition, we clarify that subjects with legalisation permits, subjects with legitimate ownership certificates or other entities with old certifications of property are not part of this list. That is because they are included in the list of expropriations that the Albanian Road Authority is drafting, said Aloisni. Albania continues to have a significant amount of cash circulating outside of financial institutions. Official data from the Bank of Albania shows that during October, 265.4 billion lek in cash was used, representing a decrease of 4 billion lek when compared to the previous month. With the reduction in official cash spending and in comparison with other countries in the region or further abroad in Europe, it is suggested that there is a high level of informal cash circulating across the country. Estimates of unofficial or informal cash usage reached 20% in the first quarter of this year for Albania, whereas in the Eurozone, the European Bank estimates that informal cash was represented at a rate of just 9.2%. The estimates for Albania are higher even than other countries in the region, such as Macedonia and Serbia. With suggestions that informal cash usage remains high within the Albanian economy, it seems that in parallel a reduction in interest rates has affected the rate of withdrawal from cash deposits. At the same time, a decline in lending is also presenting a problem for the Albanian economy, with October seeing the country reach record lows. The Governor of the Bank of Albania and the Head of Economy and Finance have also asked banks to react by easing credit requirements for businesses. However, it seems that the level of bad debt continues to impact the propensity for lending to business, despite the measures which have been taken. A rare and somewhat ancient map realised on cowhide and dated back to 1455 has, for the first time, been on display for the public with an exhibit held right here in Albania. The map depicts the name of our national hero in the form Skanderbeg, and under the framework of the National Year of Skanderbeg, the rare marine artefact is available for viewing at the Prime Ministry. Missing for 2 centuries, the map was found in the wall of a cellar and in turn became part of the Rome Library of the 18th century. Artan Shkreli says that this document gives further confirmation to some historical facts. This is an important discovery, not just because the name of our hero is on the map, which is unique, but also the fact that the map dates back to 1455, a time when Skanderbeg's fame was at a peak in Europe. The map was made by Bartolomeo Pareto, said Artan Shkreli. The rare historical evidence has attracted the curiosity of many visitors. It will be returned to Italy in 2 weeks' time. The National History Museum has also been a point of public interest today, with the works by 54 different painters being displayed in an exhibit which focuses on our country's national hero. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.